Town meeting members, I'm Peter Pingatore, Chair of the Community Preservation Committee. Article 16 is essentially a bookkeeping exercise, transferring amounts from one Community Preservation Act account, free cash, to the Historic Resources Reserve, Open Space Reserve, and the Community Housing Reserve in the amount stated in the warrant. Let me explain the basis for this requested appropriation. There are two sources of CPA funds. The first source is property tax surcharge receipts, local receipts. The second source is the State Community Preservation Fund match, state receipts. As you know from the preceding Article 15, Community Preservation Committee each year requests that town meeting appropriate community preservation funds to four reserves: the annual reserve, the community housing reserve, historic resources reserve, and open space reserve. The requested appropriation under Article 16 is required because annual CPA appropriations made at town meeting are based on anticipated revenue for the coming fiscal year, beginning July 1st. Through the requested appropriation, we are adjusting the appropriations made in May 2021 special town meeting with the actual revenue received for fiscal year 2022. Additionally, there is a statutory requirement, as you know, under the CPA, that annually at least 10% of the CPA funds be spent on actual projects or be allocated for future projects in three specific CPA reserves: community housing, open space, and historic resources. At the May 2022 special town meeting, for fiscal year 2022, town meeting appropriated 11% of the estimated CPA receipts for the open space reserve account in an effort at ensuring that the town stayed compliant with the 10% mandate. The required appropriation to the historic preservation reserve account was used in part to pay the debt service on the town hall historic restoration project. And with respect to community housing reserve, the Community Preservation Committee targeted a minimum of 20% of the estimated receipts to be committed to the Community Housing Reserve account, and therefore CPC requested and town meeting appropriated 22% of the estimated CPA receipts for the Community Housing Reserve account. At the time of these appropriations, the actual property tax surcharge and the state match were not known. Based on various factors at the state level, the state set the CPA match for FY 2022 at approximately 39.4% of the local CPA surcharge receipts. This percentage figure exceeded the estimated percentage the town relied on in establishing CPA revenue for FY 2022 by approximately 12%. The total of the estimated CPA surcharge and state match for FY 2022 was $4,067,652. The required appropriation to meet the 10% mandate for each of the historic reserve accounts, community housing, historic resources, open space, is $406,766. With respect to community housing, the appropriation necessary to meet the CPC requested and town meeting approved 20% funding level is $813,532. In order to meet these funding level requests, the additional sums as stated in the warrant article must be appropriated: $29,067 to the Historic Resources Reserve, $24,375 to the Open Space Reserve, and $48,749 to the Community Housing Reserve. The total appropriation is $191,091,000. The Community Preservation Committee voted unanimously in favor of this appropriation, and we ask town meeting support for warrant articles 16. And thank you very much.